Welcome to the video portion of today's training. Today we're going to dive into something that's crucial for tutors, setting boundaries. I'm going to show you how to make it memorable using a pop culture twist. Welcome to Boundaries for Brats. Now let's talk about it. Whether you're tutoring students in English, Spanish, or anything else, setting boundaries is the foundation for a healthy and productive relationship. Without them, we risk burnout, confusion, and miscommunication. But when we have boundaries in place, we create a space where both tutor and student can thrive. Picture this. You're a student who constantly texts during sessions, interrupts you mid-sentence, and asks for last-minute appointments. Before long, you're stressed, frustrated, and maybe even dreading the next session. That's what happens when boundaries aren't respected. But when you set clear boundaries, it helps everyone understand their roles and expectations. It ensures respect, trust, and a productive learning environment where both parties feel comfortable and valued. That brings me to the acronym we'll be using today, BRAT. Now, don't worry, this isn't about spoiled kids. BRAT stands for Boundaries, Resilience, Awareness, and Trust. Think of it as your go-to guide for healthy tutor-student relationships. And this is our official logo. So let's break it down. B is for boundaries. Boundaries mean defining what's acceptable and what's not. It could be something simple like setting a specific time for sessions or making sure that you don't answer work-related emails after hours. Boundaries keep things clear and manageable. R is for resilience. Resilience means staying adaptable and persistent in the face of challenges, whether it's a difficult student or shifting academic demands. It involves maintaining a positive attitude, learning from setbacks, and continuously improving to better support students' growth and success. A is for awareness. As a tutor, being aware of your students' progress, their emotional state, and their individual needs is key. If a student is struggling, it might be a sign that your boundaries need adjusting. Awareness helps you adapt without compromising your role as a tutor. T is for trust. Trust is the glue that holds everything together. If a student knows you're consistent with your boundaries and respectful of their needs, they're more likely to trust you. Trust also means you can rely on each other to create a safe and positive learning environment. So let's look at some examples. So how? Let me share a couple of just things to illustrate this. So in the first scenario, say you've agreed on 1 hour sessions, but a student frequently shows up late or asks for extra time without notice. By gently reminding them that time is limited, you're reinforcing your boundaries and respecting both your and their time and setting achievable goals. And then for scenario 2, if the student seems distracted or overwhelmed, it's important to recognize that. You might ask, how are you feeling today, and adjust the lesson to make it more manageable. That awareness of their needs and respecting their emotional state is key to maintaining healthy boundaries. So don't forget, the first 5 minutes of that session are the most important. And always rely on your community agreements because you can always bring it up later in the session. So how do we set and maintain these boundaries in our tutoring sessions? The answer is clear communication. It all starts with that. When you first meet a student and host group sessions, communicate appropriate boundaries. For example, creating shared agreements or community agreements and norm setting is a great way to achieve this. To wrap up, setting boundaries as a tutor isn't just about preventing burnout, it's about creating an environment of mutual respect, awareness, and trust. By following the BRAT formula, boundaries, resilience, awareness, and trust, you'll be set to foster a positive and productive learning experience for both you and your students. So take a moment to think about your own boundaries. Are they clear? Are they being respected? If not, maybe it's time for a little adjustment. Remember, setting boundaries isn't just good for you, it's essential for your students. Thanks for listening, and I'd love to hear any questions or thoughts you have on setting boundaries as a tutor. But now with the real life me and not the video me.